Good morning, children. Stay safely at home. I am starting the next chapter, nuclear structure. It is a very small chapter. Interesting chapter, and very few topics are there. So kindly learn it, and if question come in the exam, also opt the question from this chapter because it is easy to answer and easy to score. Now the chapter is nuclear structure. All right, already all of you know what is the structure of the nucleus of an atom. You know that inside the what is nucleus, the entire mass of an atom is concentrated in a central portion of an atom in a very small region which is known as the nucleus, and inside the nucleus there are two kind of fundamental particles, proton and neutrons. All right, protons are positively charged particles and neutrons are electrically neutral, and protons and neutrons as they are together, they are staying within the nucleus. They are known as the nucleons. Alright. And you know what is the charge of proton? Charge of proton is equal to charge of electron 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. And there is a very strong attractive force acting between the nucleons, which is known as the nuclear force, responsible for binding the nucleons together and keeping them together within the nucleus. Alright, so now we have to know about the nuclear shape. Now generally we consider that the shape of the nucleus is spherical. Alright, what is the shape of a nucleus? We assume it that shape of the nucleus is spherical. So you see, the next point is what is the size of the nucleus. Size of the nucleus is generally determined by the radius of the nucleus. Alright, and as we are considering that all the nucleons, they are also spherical and the nucleus is also spherical, so it is obvious that volume of the nucleus is directly proportional to number of nucleons present in it. More the nucleons, more the number of proton and neutron within the nucleus, more will be its volume. Okay, so you can write volume of a nucleus is directly proportional to number of nucleons within it. And you know, number of nucleons within a nucleus is known as the mass number, and mass number is denoted by A. I hope you have not forgotten it. In chemistry, in physics, in 10th standard you have studied. Okay, both in chemistry and physics. So total number of nucleons within a nucleus is known as the mass number, and we denote it by A. And I hope you can remember what is atomic number. Atomic number is number of electron or number of proton present within an atom. So here you see, if you consider that the nucleus is a spherical in shape and r be the radius, then what is the volume of a sphere? 4/3 pi r cube. So 4/3 pi r cube is directly proportional to A. What is A? I repeat, A is the mass number of the atom. So you see, one can write r cube is proportional to A. Isn't it? Because 4/3 pi is a constant quantity. So you see, you can write R is proportional to A to the power 1/3. Alright. So you can write R will be some constant. The constant we denote it by R naught. R naught into A to the power 1/3. Alright. Now this R naught is having, this is a experimental constant, and R naught, the value is 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Alright, so this is the important information regarding the size of the nucleus of an atom. Alright, size of the nucleus is given by R. R is equal to R naught, A to the power 1/3, whereas A is the mass number of the nucleus and R naught value is 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. This is applicable for any kind of nucleus. That is the most important part you have to remember, not for a particular special type of nucleus. For any nucleus of any atom, it is obeying the formula R is equal to R naught, A to the power 1/3. Now next is what will be the nuclear density. You know, density is mass by volume. So nuclear density will be the mass of the nucleus by volume of the nucleus. Now, mass of the nucleus, you can write mass of one nucleon, let it be small m, into mass number A. That is the number of nucleons present inside the nucleus. And volume of the nucleus, you can write 4/3 pi r cube. Again, you know r is equal to r naught a to the power 1/3. So, you just substitute r by r naught a to the power 1/3 whole cube. So, it is becoming r naught cube a. So, a and a you can get cancelled. You can cancel a and a. So, it is coming 3m by 4 pi r naught cube. So, you see the density of a nucleus is given by this formula. And if you substitute the mass of one nucleon, that is mass of one proton or mass of one neutron, because you know mass of proton and neutron, they are almost equal. And if you substitute the value of R naught, what is R naught? I hope you can remember. 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter, and 10 to the power minus 15 meter is Fermi. I hope you can remember. 1 Fermi is equal to, it is Fermi. Fermi is equal to 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So you can write 1.2 Fermi also. Now if you substitute the values of m, r naught, pi, then the value comes 2 into 10 to the power 7 kg per meter cube. So you see the density of the nucleus, the two important points related with the nuclear density you have to remember. The density of the nucleus is same for all kind of nucleus. Maybe a big nucleus, maybe a small nucleus, does not matter. Maybe the nucleus of any material, any element, anything, then the nucleus density is always constant. And not only that, this power 10 to the power 7, it indicates that the nuclear density is very, very big. It is almost 10 to the power 4 times the density of water. You know what is the density of water? 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. And how much the density of nucleus? 10 to the power 7. Okay. So regarding the nucleus size, shape and density, the points you have to remember. I am just summarizing it again. Now only just listening to the lecture only you can learn it just now, that nucleus shape is spherical, nucleus size is given by r is equal to r naught a to the power 1/3, where r naught value is 1.2 Fermi or 1.2 into 10 to the minus 15 meter, which is same for all the nucleus. Formula is same, although for different nucleus a will vary. But the most interesting and important part regarding the nuclear density is, nuclear density formula is 3m divided by 4 pi r naught cube, and the value is 2 into 10 to the power 7 kg per meter cube, which is constant for all the nucleus. Alright. So whatever the nuclear size or means maybe big or small, the density is constant, and not only that, highly dense nucleus is. Now next topic is atomic mass unit. Now whatever I am discussing, all these topics you know already in details. That's why just I am not giving so much importance to it, but you have to learn from this chapter. That is, what is atomic mass unit? You know that if you want to measure the mass of all the fundamental particles or atomic particles, in that case we cannot use the SI unit kg, even milligram, microgram, or you cannot use, because they are very small mass. So that's why we use atomic mass unit to measure that smaller masses of the fundamental particles within the nucleus, even for the nucleus also. So what is atomic mass unit? 1/12 of mass of 1,612 atom. Which isotope we have to take? 6C12. So you know that 1/12, what will be mass of 1,612 atom? One atom contains 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. This one, 1 gram contains 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 number of atoms. So what will be 6C12, mass of 1,612 atom? 12 divided by 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 gram, and into 1/12. So if you calculate, it is coming 1.605 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. I have just jumped one step. In gram it will be 10 to the power minus 24. Then what is the concept of isotope? Isotope, you know, atoms of same element. Atoms of same element. This is the most important part. Having the same atomic number Z means same number of proton and electron, but different number of mass number means different number of neutrons present inside the nucleus. And what are the examples of isotope? That it is protium, deuterium and tritium. 1H1, 1H2, 1H3, sorry. This is 1H3. So you see it is having all, this is protium, deuterium and tritium, all are having one proton. But you see protium has no neutron, then deuterium has 1 neutron and tritium is having 2 neutron. Like that, 17 chlorine 35, 17 chlorine 37, both the chlorine, they are having 17 number of proton, but you see this chlorine is having 35 minus 17 number of proton, whereas this chlorine is having 37 minus 17 number of neutron. Okay, and you know isotopes, as they belong to the same element, so their chemical properties and everything are same. Then next is isobar. Isobars is atoms of different element, atoms of different elements having same mass number, means total number of nucleons present inside the nucleus are same, but they are having different number of protons, different atomic number. So examples are, if you consider 1H3 means tritium and helium 2He3 isotope, then you see both of them are having mass number 3. So both of them are having 3 nucleons within the nucleus, but this one is having only 1 proton and this is having 2 proton. Like that, 6C14 and 7N14 are the example of isobar. Why? Because they are having the same number of nucleon, that is 14, but this carbon is having 6 proton, whereas nitrogen is having 7 proton. Okay, so you must learn all these easy topics and try to remember also. The next is isotones. What are isotones? Atoms of different elements having same number of neutron. Now how one can find out neutron? A minus Z, mass number minus atomic number. That's why I have written within the bracket, A minus Z. What are the examples? 3Li7, 4Be8. You see, if you subtract 7 and 3, mass number minus atomic number 4. So lithium, it is having 4 neutron. If you consider the beryllium, it is 4Be8. So 8 minus 4 is 4. So it is also having 4 neutrons. Like that, 2He4, 1H3. You see A minus Z, how much? 2. A minus Z, how much? 2. So they are having same number of neutrons. So they are the examples of isotones. Okay. The next one is nuclear reactions. In a nuclear reactions, how you can balance a nuclear reactions? Already I taught you in 10th standard. I am just repeating the same concept, that in case of balancing a nuclear reaction, remember that total mass number of the product and total mass number of the reactant should be the same. Total atomic number of the products and total mass number of the reactant will be the same. Just I am writing one equation. Suppose it is 5B11 plus 2He4 producing 7N14 plus 0N1 plus certain amount of energy, a large amount of energy, because all of you know any nuclear reaction always it obeys the Einstein's mass energy equivalence, E is equal to delta mc square. So a lots of energy produced in case of nuclear reaction. Now look at the reaction I have written. What is the total mass number? 11 plus 4, 15. You see here, what is the total mass number of the product? 14 plus 1, 15. Like that. You see the atomic number. 5 plus 2, 7. What is the atomic number here? 7 plus 0, 7. So this is the way we balance a nuclear reaction. Alright. The total mass number of the left hand side and total mass number of the right hand side of a nuclear reaction should be same. Like that, total atomic number of the left hand side and total atomic number of the right hand side of a nuclear reaction should be same. That is the way to balance a nuclear reaction. So that's all about this chapter. So once again I am repeating, only few topics are there: nuclear shape, size, density, atomic mass unit, isotope, isobar, isotone, and nuclear reaction. For nuclear reaction, what will be given? One nuclear reaction will be given and there will be a blank. Then you have to fill up the blank. How to fill up the blank, and how you to have to identify what is the substance, what is the atom or nucleus or any fundamental particle there, by balancing the atomic number and mass number of both the sides of the reaction. So that's all about this chapter. Once again I am saying that kindly learn this chapter and try to opt the question in the exam if it comes from this chapter. Thank you guys.